Almost ready. How's everybody doing today? All right. What's up, everybody? I am Sam from Python Basics. We are going to be continuing on with our little series of studying Python and Introduction to Python. A really in-depth, all-encompassing. Glad to have everybody here today. Sorry about throwing everybody a curveball last week. Had life going on and couldn't really get back quite in time and get all in ordered. But we got some admins in place. We do have open chat today, so this is going to be a little bit different than the last ones, but super excited. So, all right, let's just go ahead and jump into it. So today we're going to be looking at a little board game. I'm really going to be focusing on lists and a couple of that's one of the things is if you want to make a joke, tell life you have a plan. Okay, but here's the little layout that we're gonna do. And so basically a little board of circles or zeros. I think it's O's. It's actually O's. And then there are some hidden X's, and we have a two-dimensional choices. So we have a lot to do here, but some little cleanup work that I want to do is there were some questions hanging out there about any and all. So I thought now would be a good time before we got into that to go ahead and handle that. And also then in turn, that is going to lead us into some list comprehension with conditions. And I realized that I did not go over how to really handle conditions in list comprehension. If anybody can remind me, Jan or Cardinal, did we do those? I don't remember. And then we also need to talk a little bit about strings because we're going to use that in our board. All right. So, all right, so list comprehension with conditions. Now, this is where it gets a little odd. So we're going to look at this right here. And when we bring this in and we look at it, so we have a list, then it has a string, okay, an int, another string, int, string, and a string. All right. Now, let's just say that this got handled wrong. I want to also show you this about strings. I don't think we looked at is numeric. So Python has handled this for us. Actually, I may make my kid laugh. And yes, thank you, Cardinal. If anybody's acting up, because we have open chat, we just want to be having a discussion and making sure that everybody is on task with Python. So like I said, we have some admins here to clean up anything. All right, so like I was saying, string, Python has handled some things for strings to be able to tell if it is numeric. So let's just look at it. Is str dot is lower is numeric. Here we go. Numeric. Boom. Return true. Return true if the string is a numeric string. So basically, Python can understand that. Here we go. So dot -1 is numeric. Boom, true. So Python is able to look and see and realize that this is a value and it is a number. So now let's look at some list comprehension with some conditions. And this took me forever to really wrap my head around. So if you give it one condition, you have to lay it out a certain way. And then if it's two conditions, you can lay it out a separate way. So, all right, name, false. But I hope everybody has been doing good. It has been now 2 weeks since we've been together. In X, if stri dot is numeric. Boom, boom. So, all right, what did I do? So I did my normal loop. Just need to bring chat up so we can see how everybody's doing today. All right, for I and X, then I'm wanting to return false if I, analyzing I string, is that right? Yeah, is numeric. So let's run this. Oops. And yeah, that doesn't need to be right there. There we go. All right, so name. Yeah, name. Boom. So false, false, false. Now, let's say I wanted two conditions. So like I said, if you're passing one, the condition needs to be at the end. Now, if I were to be cut, actually, I don't want to do that. We'll do name false if str.i.is numeric, else true for I in X. All right, so let's see the difference. So if it's one condition, the if goes at the end. But this is, if you look at this, here's my I. For I and X, do either one of these, and you can put these at the beginning. So if this, do this, else do this. All right, so we can comment that out or not, because this will be the last thing that name will be. So now we have our true, false, true, false, true, false. So there and there. So now we're going to take into account, and now we want to look at any and all. So basically, these are two more functions from, let's do any built-in function module from built-ins, from the built-in module. Return true if boolean x is true for any of the iterable, for any. So basically, remember how we had and or? So this is a function for an iterable. So if you had two conditions, true and false, true or false, you got true. But if it was true and false, it's false. Any and all is the same for a group. All right. So now name, any name is true. Are any of them true? Yes, true. Are all of them true? False. So now I think if we were to go and change that scenario, but actually, yeah, let's do this. Let's get true and then all. So name should be all true, right? So all name, now that's true. So all right, does that make sense to everybody? All right, we do have a lot of comments. We got a lot of folks here today. So all right, that was that. Now, all right, so we looked a little bit more into some strings. Cardinal and Jan, have we done join for string, the function, the join method? I can't remember. All right, so let's look at help str dot join. So, all right, this one was a little odd for me to wrap my head around of why this wasn't in the list or iterable function or things like this. So, all right. So, join is a method. It concatenates any number of strings. So, the reason why it is a string method is whatever you pass it is the glue. So, actually, I'm getting ahead of myself. We need to first look at the difference between list and split. So, like I said, we got a lot to do. So, hello everyone, how are you? So, all right. So I just took a simple string and assigned it to hello. Now, if I do hello.split, I get a list of everything. It is splitting on whatever I pass it. Typically, without anything being passed, split. The delimiter, what it separates on, is a white space. There it is. Any white space. So now I can pass it a value and go through, but this automatically, it splits typically into whole words. Awesome. Okay, so we will go over. Okay, we did use zip. All right, so join is the glue of how it's basically the reverse of split. So split it operates on a list. On a string to go to a list, then you pass in a iterable, typically a list, to join with the glue. So all right, so now the glue. So we have let's change. Here we go. Hello. Split. All right, Cardinal, is everybody calm down with the spamming? And yes, this is for beginners. So when this is and Jan and Cardinal, you'll have to remind me. This is our, ninth one? I think so. So this is our 9th video in the series, and Bo has done an awesome job. And yes, this will be posted immediately right after. Bo with freeCodeCamp does an awesome job, and we have our own playlist, so you can go back and watch all of these in consecutive order. And for just admin purposes, all of these videos are redone of the first videos on my channel. So this is basically a recap with some different variations and some different consolidations that I've learned to make sure we group things together. So all right, hello dot split. So then hello split. So all right, so now I have this, and it was separated on our white spaces. So now here's where the glue comes. And since this is so since our glue is a string, this is why join is a string method. So now when I use the glue, use the join, then I pass it our iterable, I get this. We are. I just want to make sure we go over because we're going to be using all of these things here momentarily. And that was just something that we needed to go over that was asked about with any and all. So, all right. We'll expand upon this shortly. So let's just go ahead and get to it. All right. So we have quite a few challenges to overcome. First, we need to build an array here, a list of lists. So we're actually going to use a nested list comprehension. So let's just go ahead and get into it. So we got our array, and just like I like to say, we're going to go for I in range. So we got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Range 6. Close this out. So our I. All right. Now, we want that's 6 times, but now we want 6 across. So guess what? For I in range 6, and then we just want letter O's, capital letter O's. All right. Anybody lost so far? Yeah, I think we'll be maybe a touch over an hour. I think that's about as much time as all this will take, and all this stuff can be pretty complicated, and I don't want to overwhelm anybody. So, all right, does everybody see what I did here? All right, so let's print this out. For I in array, print I. Boom. Okay. So I just made, that's 6. Yeah, boom, 6, 6. 6 by 6. Now, that doesn't look like this. So now what I need to do is I need to line this up. Yes, you can do this in PyCharm. I just know for beginners, I don't want this to be anything overcomplicated. That's why I still use the shell and the script, because it is satisfactory for what we're doing. We're not bringing in complicated modules, and we're not doing anything sophisticated enough to need that. So that's why we're still here, because I don't want to scare anybody away. That's the whole point of everything that I do. So we need to neaten this up. We need to put this together. So, all right. So we need to go print. Dot join. Well, first we need to go through one at a time. For I in array, print. So we're going to use our join, and then we're going to pass it I, right? Cool. All right. So building blocks, and that's one of the things that you'll hear me talk a lot about is that to go very, very slow, incremental at a time, and make sure we can do this. So now we need to handle our I guess, our equivalent of our x and our y. So because this is map coordinates, a and a numeric value. So now we're going to use the tools that we have at hand. All right, so we have string, import string. Everybody remember this? I think we touched on this a while ago. So we're just going to use the ASCII strings. So dir string, because, excuse me. So ASCII lower, ASCII, so str. For loops go a certain number of time. The length of an iterable, a range function, but an iterable. While is until that condition changes, and we're going to be using a while loop in our example. And as you can see here, the length of this is 6 times, so it comes down here until it's exhausted, until the iterable is exhausted. That's basically the difference between the two. Good question. All right. String dot as key dot lowercase. Oops. Boom. Forgot that's an attribute. You're very welcome. Was that Sebastian? I love it. Thanks, Jen. All right. So now we're just going to use the first 6. So then we're not going to import everything from string. Import as key lowercase as I think I like doing this as letters. Yep. As letters. All right. So then letters. Yeah, we're just going to use A through F equals. So then since this is going to be a string, we're just going to chop this off right here. First 6. So letters. Then, yep, 6. So we'll bring this in and I'll show you. So A underscore F. F. Boom, just like this. So then if I wanted to, just like we learned a little bit ago, so the difference between split and list is split splits it on the white spaces or whatever the delimiter we choose. List changes everything. So let's do hello again. List equals, oh yeah, hello everyone. This is good enough. So when I do list on hello, every single item in the iterable is broken out. And that will become handy, and we will use that very soon in our example. So now A underscore F, which is our first 6 letters, we're going to wrap this in list. So now A underscore F. So now I have my A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Oh, stopping at F. Sorry. All right. Everybody good? You want to print hello? Okay. Boom. Well, I just ran that up here, so print hello. Just makes it nice and pretty, and there's actually a way to print things even prettier in Python, but those are the awesome skills that we have. All right. So now we have this. So we're getting very, very slow. So now we need to take and get our numbers over here. So now we need to set this up. So num equals list.range.6. Now, is that right? Close this out. So we got num, right? 0 through 5. That's not going to be right because we want 1 through 6, because we know we could have it be 0 through 5, but the user will probably not want to tolerate that. And I don't know why I keep doing that. So start, stop, exclusive. So now let's run this again. Let's call num. There we go, 1 through 6. So now let's see if we can get this board to get the letters and the numbers at the top. So right now, we just need the letters first. Okay, so print. We have our list. Okay, print a_f. Let's just start here. All right, so that's not right. So, oh yeah, we need to put this in a string. That's right, we're using join. Ooh, here we go. But now why don't we make that's not pretty. We need to make that capital, don't we? Shouldn't we? Don't we want to? So how do we do that? Anybody remember? How do we take a letter and make it capitalized? Any takers? Oop. So let's see. To be honest, I guess I can't find out where I did this. Do I have this all in upper? I wonder if I have this in upper somewhere else. Why don't we do this? This will change it right here. Let's get rid of this. I thought I found all of this. There we go. So let's see what I did here. So this brings this string in as letters, right? So all these are lowercase. I slap an upper at the end of it, converts all of it, and then I'm slicing it. So that's why this works right here. And like I said, I can't find this anywhere else in my main program to see where I convert all those. I had this as uppercase. So let me show you two ways to do this. So, all right. Let's make sure I didn't lose anybody. All right, is everybody okay with this? Right, so that's... no, when I had it down here, because that's working on a list. So I did this here, but I did not look at my notes. So, all right, you can have this is upper, and then also inside, let's see, import string dir on string. It has uppercase right here. So upper. Oops, clean that up. There we are. So you have one of two options. So it's if you want to have them base is lowercase and then you want to come back, or you can also come and pull this in. I guess I thought yeah, but we probably won't get to Flask for a very long time. We have we have months before we'll get to that. And then you could argue that Django's better than Flask because then you don't have to do as much setting up, because Flask is very, 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 very bare bones, very, very lightweight. Django has a little bit more. You have to do a little bit more heavy lifting, but boy, does it take care of a lot of stuff for you. But all right, we can have that discussion later. All right, so now we need to handle our numbers on the side. So all right, I want to show you something. Remember how we did iterables and iterators? So all right, we're going to turn this into an iter. And you might ask why. So we don't have to deal and count and do things, and we can just interject. So we got num, and we don't have to overthink this. So we can literally just drop in this, and we don't have to fight, and we don't have to change this and do anything overcomplicated. We can just go grab our next, drop it in, and not overthink and not have to count and have an index and do anything crazy. So we can just go num. Now we do have to handle an issue here. All right. All right, so now we caused another problem. So we have our 1 through 6, but we're off a little bit here. So we got boom, boom. Let's see if that solved it. Off a little bit. Perfect. So here we go. Yes, absolutely. You can go back and search for inside freeCodeCamp and type in Python Basics, or you can go to the playlist and you can see all the other videos. All right, iter. Let's go over that real slow again. So if the reason why I changed that list to a iter is because if you're trying to go through two iterables at the same time, because I'm using this as a marker, I would have to then take this as an index, and I would have to change and go through and have some count. But when I turned it into an iter, I can just go and grab each of these next one at a time. And I don't know where. Okay, great question. We probably have a lot of new people here today. So, so right here, inside the print function. Shoot, is this at the bottom? All right, I think I have this scaled right. Okay, good. All right. So, end. What does it do at the end of the print? It defaults to new line. This character right here, \n, is new line. What I'm doing is I'm reassigning it, and I'm suppressing that new line function. So see right here, I have end is get a new line. I'm telling Python suppress go to a new line and stay on that same line. That's why this basically is on this line right here. Then after this line is executed, then a new line happens. On my channel, in the link down below, there's a link to my channel. You can go and look at number shapes, triangle numbers, reverse triangle. There's a whole series. There's about 5 videos on number shapes, and it goes real in depth of what this end suppression does right here. The end argument inside the print function. So, all right. It is very handy to do a variety of things. So, great question. I love having a bunch of new folks here, and I'm glad we have chat open. So I want to tell Bo and Quincy, thank you for doing that. All right, so we are getting very, very close. Now we need to handle some logic of how to go about doing this. So we're going to need to put this in a while loop. So let's come up with a true. And then we also need to then take in some input. Oh, and I think my favorite part is this right here. Well, actually, we also need to come up with some hidden values. So, all right, there's a variety of ways to do it, but I'm a very simple guy. So what our goal is we're going to, when we guess where an X is, we're going to have the O get removed, then show that X in location. Then if the guess is not has an X, it goes and just becomes a blank space. So we need to handle a lot of things right here. All right. So first we need to indent this. So I'm going to show you, oops, and boom, boom. All right. So what I did, and I did not do tab. I did indent region, because if you get into the tab issue, you will have all kinds of issues. Don't ever pick one, do it. I'm not going to sit here and be just do spaces, just do tabs. Whatever your preference is, but don't mix them. You will have a headache and you'll go nuts. So all right. Let's see. We have our everything right here, but now we need to come up with our guesses. So now we're going to randomly. So we need to look at random. Import random, because we want the game, and it's just a simple game. And yes, it's 100%. True. All this is to get you to think about how to handle the things that we already know. All right. So we're going to look at choice inside random. So well, first let's look at it. Let's see what our choices are for random. Random. All right. And we have choice right here. So what does random choice do? Random dot choice. Choose a random element from a non-empty sequence. So basically, that's going to go, but now we're actually literally going to mix and match. We're going to take a choice out of each of these, and we're going to come up with 4. So now we need to go through 4 times and pick 4. Hidden. So we're going to have a list of choices here, and this is going to determine how many we have left. So I know it's really simple, but I remember the first time I learned how to basically examine and have this change each time you guess correctly. I don't know. Like I said, I'm a pretty simple guy. All right, so now we need to look at some more list comprehension. So for I in range 4, we just want 4 guesses. So now let's throw this inside of a list. So we have our list of letters and our iterable of numbers. Our iter right there, iterator, our iterator of functions, our iterator of numbers, excuse me. So we have choice, and then we're just going to go a_f because we want that one to be first. Now, and then we're going to do, let's see, choice. We need to handle another problem here. If I can type today, sorry everybody. And oh, I know what I did here. Helps if I spell correctly. Let's bring this over just a touch so we can see everything. And we are just going to clean this up so we can have complete control, because you cannot choose, because you have a iterator, you cannot pull out. That was, and all right. And we have one more problem here. So if this is a number, so if I'm wanting to concatenate a string, because this is a list of letters, that's a string, and this is going to be a number. We can't concatenate we cannot concatenate a string and a number. All right, everybody good with this? Yes, there is a seed function in and there's actually a video on my channel that is actually quite popular. It's very interesting. Seed is repeatability for random numbers. So basically, if I were to tell you that I made a random list of 50,000 numbers and I started with the seed of 2, random.seed2, you and I could have the same list of random numbers. It's actually one of the very cool things about... Uh-oh, am I buffering? Did I just drop out? All right, am I back up? Okay, looks like I'm back up. So, if you were to concatenate, and I would want to have a letter and a number like string, a is numeric string, I have to convert it to a string. And there's two ways to do this: longhand and shorthand. So you wrap it in the string function. So then I'm going to come over here, str, and wrap this up. So basically we're going to look at this. Yes, this is a lot here, but I want you to look at this. So that over here is my for I in range. That's our regular for loop. And then right here is a concatenated, very simple. Let's see how I did. Oops. And what did I forget? I left something out. Let's see where it is. I have an extra set of parentheses. I need one more. There we go. And I forgot a while play. There we go. We don't need this right now. All right. So now let's look at hidden. I don't know why everything is freezing up on me. Forgive me, guys. All right. Did that go through? Oh no, is it messing up the stream? I don't think I have too much running, but I may be. Let me close some stuff down. Sorry, guys. Whoa. I don't have the best computer, but I also don't have the absolute slowest computer either. I thought I shut everything down, but guys, I am so sorry. I am in the dark right now with what I have running. I can't see you. I have no idea if you can see me. I can't get to it appears that the stream is good. I can't see chat. So I'm just going to keep going. All right, I'm shutting this down. All right, let's rerun this. Okay. From random import choice. All right. Let's get this resized. So I usually restart my modem before the stream. Looks like I'm going to be restarting my computer before the stream too. All right, there we go. Okay. We're good? Okay, good. All right. Yeah, sorry guys. Everything was just locking up, I guess. I don't know what I had running in the background. All right. Okay. So now here are my random choices. We're going to, so this is what I want you to think about. Instead of us overcomplicating this and going, okay, we're going to assign and then have it hidden and this and that. Nope. We don't care what this is. We're just going to see if they type in values that match these. So we're going to take input. So the board is going to look like this. And then when these are either met or not met, then we're going to do something. Does that make sense? If these conditions are met or not met. All right, so now we need to come in here and we need to handle our while loop. Oops. So basically, because if we were to just if we were to do this right now, run this, what would happen? It would just run over and over and over and over and over and over again. Oh, no, it wouldn't. I forgot. That was the also built up backend. So you run out of next, it stops. But we can also control this by our let's see. And now the other thing is then we need to run this down here each time through. So iter, then range 1 through 7. There we go. All right, and then we need to take input from the user after we print our little map. So move, guess. So we're just going to do move. Input 1, 2, 3, because we want multiple lines. Q to quit, enter move, and then just like that. So Q to quit. Then come down here, enter, move, e.g. example of A5. 1, 2, 3. All right. And I forgot to close that out. All right. So now we need to handle this. If move dot lower equals Q, then we change play to false to kick out. False. And to a dyslexic person, that looked exactly right. All right, so let's see how close we're getting. Okay, here we go. All right, everybody following along so far? All right, cool. So we have our top coordinate, we have our x coordinate, we have our y coordinate, and then if we type in Q, we get out. So all right, so now we need to handle how we are going to handle the guesses. and what we're going to do. So now we need to do a little thinking. So we covered indexing with lists. Jan Cardinal, can you remember if we've done that before? Because I don't want to jump directly into it if we haven't. So it's actually some pretty... Oh, we need to handle this right here. So that is going to print each time through our while loop. And to test this, we're going to put our hidden so we can test and make sure. All right. Okay. So here's our hidden information, because we do want to see it so that we can test and make sure that it's working properly. That is probably the biggest thing that I can say, is that you also want to test the positive scenario, or the scenarios that you're expecting. I always love teaching young people when they say it didn't work or it didn't do it right, because they're expecting something and something else came out and they couldn't dare be wrong. So it has to be the computer. Couldn't be the program that they wrote. So, all right. So we're going to work off this in a minute. All right, let's get out of here. No. I'm sorry. Let's go over lower and lowercase for just a second. Lowercase is from lowercase and uppercase is from the string module, ASCII lower. And what I did with lower is a method from as a string. And it's right here. So I run dir on my object and I get a list of all the methods. And then I come in here and I do str lower. I run help on str lower, and it returns and it tells me what it actually does and how to use it. So return a copy of a string converting to lowercase. And this is vital. If it's in place, returns none, or what it returns. If you haven't seen me talk about that, this is very important to understand the actual functionality of the method. So this one returns a copy, so it will not do it in place. So right here, we'll do Sam. Then I go lower. So here, let's just go. Let's say all right, name. So all right. So now I go name.lower. All came out, but it did not change name. So if I were to go lower, then name.lower, name still stays capital, lower, because I'm returning something, I'm creating something. Return is a very important word in Python. I cannot say that enough. So this creates something. Return creates something. So now if I'm creating something, I have something to assign something to. So I'm taking this return value, which is a copy of the lower of the original string, assigning it. So that's why now I have two variables right there. All right. All right. Was that good? Okay. So, all right, we're almost an hour in, so let's see if we can run through this real fast. So we have our if. So now let's do an else. So now, basically what we're wanting to do, pass. Let's bring this in. You don't have to scroll up. So we are wanting to go and take in, let's move this over. I guess we don't need to be able to see that anymore. We know what that did. All right, we have all that. All right. So now we're going to take and we want to check and see. So right now, well, that's going to change in a minute. But the hidden will stay the same once we're in our for loop. So, oh, I guess we can do this right here. So, all right. So what the goal is if I match one of these, I want something to change. And also if I don't match it. So if I match it, I want it to change to an X. And if I do not match it, I want it to change to a blank space. So we got some stuff to do. So now, actually, we need to talk about in. We know in is in our, when we do our range, when we do our for loop. Have I explicitly talked about in, Jan, Cardinal? Have I talked about those? You guys, have I explicitly talked about that? All right, so right now I have hidden, right? So I have F4, C6, C6. Ooh. Do I handle this? I got C6 twice and A4. So let's see if I handle that to see if... Ooh, that would be later at another date because we're going to handle this guesses in a minute. So let's rerun this. All right, we'll use this hidden. I did not think about that when I was building this originally. So all right, let's look at in, the in keyword. Anybody remember how to get to keywords? Because especially since we got a lot of new people here today. Help. In. All right, so let's look at what in does. Well, it'd be 30. Would it be 36 to 1? I guess to repeat, would that be 36 times 36 to 1? All right. So in basically is a keyword. It's a membership test operation. Is it a member? So let's rerun this and get one back in here. So I have, no way, check that out. F's all the way across. So just like when I did name, Sam. Let's stay consistent, Sam. In name. All right. So is basically whenever you see something like this, I always like to tell new people to put the question is in front of it. Is S in name? True. So now let's go F2 in hidden. True. F lowercase f2 in hidden. False. So we're going to be doing a comparison. So we're going to be taking user information, user input right here. And we're going to match it. So is it in this? And if it is, do one thing. If it's not, do another. That's basically what our comparison, our membership test is. And anytime you can't remember exactly, because I hated that it took me probably 2 years and not a lot of places. Well, I stumbled across it. I don't think I've ever seen anybody. You can run help on any function and method. But the only way to get to a keyword is through the help prompt. All right? And as you can see with the help prompt, you can end up going down a rabbit hole. So there is a ton of information. And and then you can lead to other, you end up going down a rabbit hole. Keywords. Boom. So just like this. And you can just start and you can go from there. All right. So let's quit out of here. So now we have our two scenarios that we need to handle. If it is in and if it's not in. So let's get after this. So we're actually going to have, like I said, two. If move in hidden, pass, then else, pass. All right. And the reason why you use pass is you know it's going to be there, but you don't want it to throw up while you're kind of looking at it. So now we need to, and maybe at a later time we can go in and we can look at how to handle and only have certain guesses, because I'm going to give you a hint of how to handle this. So again, like I was talking about, we're going to start doing more with lists. Pop, the pop method for a list. Have we done that yet? I don't think we have. All right, so what is it going to do? Help list.pop. It's a very interesting method. I think we did do it. So it does, but I think we have a lot of new people here today, so we're going to go over it real slow. It does two things, and you know it does two things because it tells you it does two things right here. Remove and return. So basically, we did do it in the horse example. Awesome. Thank you, Jose. So, and you guys this is why I love doing these live streams, especially with chat and everybody coming and going. Awesome. And for you guys who are hanging out here and who've been around a long time, thank you. You guys make my life a lot easier. And I appreciate you guys being admins too. All right. So it does two things. It's going to remove it from the list, and if necessary, you can then assign that value because it returns it. So you can have it come. So as you pull it out, that method is removing it, and then that value, that popped value, can be assigned to a new value if you want it to move someplace else, especially moving from one list to another. That is I can't remember. There's a good example I have somewhere floating around, but yes, this is probably one of the coolest ones because it can do two things at a time and it defaults to the last item. So all right, let's keep moving. Like I said, we're already an hour in. I don't want to go over too long because you guys are up late, I think. Okay, so if it matches, we want to have it convert the 0 O to an X, and if it does not match, we're going to convert the capital O to a blank space. Shoot, that just made me think of something that I don't think I handled. We need to talk about this array. So the array is this. For I in array, and we need to talk about this for a minute. If I can type. All right. So I want to change this one right here. So it is the first row, and then the 1, 2, 3 column. So I want you to think about that. So Python goes 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 0, 1, 2. So 0 and 0, 1, 2. So since we know that lists are mutable, because this is a list of lists, I can change lists. So I'm going to change this one right here to a blank space. So what I say, 0, 0, 1, 2. For I in array, print I. So I said I wanted this one right here to be a blank space. And I did it. All right, does everybody follow that? Okay, everybody good with that? Because this is our building block of how we're going to go about doing this. So it's a list of lists. So I have my first list index, first one, and then my second one. All right. When we go over that again? All right. So if I index, my 0 index is my first row. And then 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now 0, I'm going to change the last item, the fifth one, to a X. Boom. So because this is a list of lists, right? So my type for array is a list. Then type for array index 0 is also a list. Then my type array 0, and really any item, but we'll just do 0, 0. Type is a string. So whole thing list, first index list, second layer of indexing, string. All right. All we're doing is kind of just laying out a very simple, it is a very, very rudimentary battleship. But the reason why I like this example is because you have to use lists of lists, list comprehension, choice from the random library, a little bit of logic, a little bit of planning, throwing in some new line suppression, and things like this. It is just a huge conglomerate of everything that we've been learning so far. So, all right. I love that. Find a game of finding hidden X's. I love that. Ooh, we could call it Treasure Hunt. There we go. I guess it's like an old version. I'll really show my age here in a minute. Minesweeper. But it's also not as complicated. So all right, so we have hidden right here. Now we need to get this. I love that. F2, 5, F2, F5, F6, F4. So now we need this each time through. We need to get this to print out how many are left. How many X's are left? So let's do that. So print F dot find the len of hidden. Oops. Bracket. Len hidden. Hidden X's. So all right. Let's go over what I did here. So I have a string, and each time through I'm having this count how many do we have in here. So each time we find one, of course our hidden list will get smaller and this number will change, so the user will know how many that they have to find left. All right. Now we need to deal with this. So if your move is in this list. So if that move is in the list, hidden dot pop hidden dot index. We need to look at index. All right. We looked at pop. I can't remember if I asked you guys if we did index. So hidden, what that does is then help on list dot index. Okay, return first index of value. So basically what this is so I want to find where this is. All right, and then I want to take that and I want to remove it. All right. Let's see. Because I want to, there we go, take that out, and then I'm gonna then slice. I need to slice up my array. So this work right here, this is our building block. Let's see, then move equals list, because you remember how we took our information, and if I pass A5, I separate it, because this is important, because then I'm going to match these and pull these out, because I have my row and my column. All right, and then my array, and here's my location, right? Int move 1 Now, why am I going to need to subtract? I need to tweak this a little bit. And why? And we'll go over this in just a second. I need to type and concentrate. Move 0. And wrap that up. Equals X. All right. Now, you remember how we adjusted this? We know in Python that it's a 0 index. So when we wanted to change our first one, but it's the 0 index. 0, and what we changed that one right there. 0, and then 0, 1, 2. And that was the one we changed. So we are subtracting 1 because of the 0 indexing effect. The user won't tolerate this being 0. They want it 1 through 6. So they know it's the 6th row. They're not going to put up with going. So we need to adjust our logic and our planning. And so we subtract 1. Now, all right, let's test this. And we're going to go A5. So see that, I don't know why I typed A5. It clearly says A4. Boom. So 2 things happened. We removed, actually I guess 3, because we have this self. So here's our hidden list. It was A4. I typed A5 because apparently I can't read. So then we redid it. It jumped back out. So I typed in A4 removed that from the list, then adjusted this and said, hey, you have 3 more left, which all that is taking the len, then changed our 0 to an x. All right, so let's make sure that that works. All right, so now I'm just going to guess wrong, B6. Okay, but that didn't do anything. So now we need to quit, and now we need to handle what happens when, oops. All right, now we need to handle what happens when the move is wrong. Move equals list, move. So same thing, exact same thing. And then what happens is we go, and you know I'm not a big fan of copying because too many things can go wrong. All right. So here we are. So we're going to test B2. B2. Cool. Now let's do B1. Okay. Good. F6. Okay, good. So it's just going blank. Then let's do this one. C4. Oh, no, it's on our list. Let's do C3. C3. Okay, now C4. Awesome. So there we go, guys. This is just a wonderful little tool for us to really start laying these out. And you can take this and you can make this more sophisticated, less sophisticated, whatever you want to do. So we're about 77 minutes in. Great little stream back. So glad to be back. Love the help and the support from you guys. Ooh, that is a much bigger delay than I thought. So I am very so, well, either Battleship or I think somebody commented back, find the 4 X's. I love that. Treasure Hunt or however. But just a wonderful little tool of the things that we have learned and in a small little span of time that it just really gets you thinking. The one with all the indexing. Oh, sure. The one with all the indexing. All right. So what I'm doing, absolutely. So right here, is that the one? Yeah, absolutely. All right, so the indexing. So what I'm doing is I'm finding the location. So move 0. Let's look at, so move. Let's go over this again real slow. Oops. So I just quit. So up here, move C. So we have A underscore F. Let's bring this over. Great question. So what I'm doing is right now, so move, so I kind of have this in reverse because again, we have to handle these issues that the user, yes, I have it over on my GitHub. I have this continued, all of the code. All right, 2 things and I'll jump back. I'm just using shell and the idle from Python. So all of this, so I add to this every time, and then I've actually gotten to where I save the shell in its own file with today's date. So all right, that was a little admin there. So all right, so let's go over this a little bit. So I take move, and it's C equals C4. All right. So then I take move. Let's go over this real slow. Great question. List move. So now move is a list of 2 items, 2 strings. And I'm doing them in reverse here because this is this way. Python goes rows, then columns. So that's why I'm going in reverse. So row, then column. And you were more specifically asking about the indexing. So I'm finding the index. I'm having to adjust this by 1 to find the proper, because in Python that's 0 index. So if the user's 4, this is actually 0, 1, 2, 3. That's why I subtract 1. Now the index effect, I'm not having to do any adjustment. I'm using the tools that I have. I'm using my second index and allowing Python to find that for me and fill it in. So I'm taking my underscore dot index and I'm passing it C. Let's be consistent. Passing it C. And that's where I'm getting my 2. So I know that this is 0, 1, 2. So that's filling in. So it's row, then column. So that's what I'm doing there with the index. All right, did that answer that? But that was a fantastic question. That's, again, very much why I like these streams, and especially with the chats. But fantastic, everybody. So, all right, great stream today. We will be continuing on, and if you guys ever want to review anything that we've gone over, of course, there are all the previous streams, and then over on my channel, which is in the link down below, each video, each one of these topics has its own micro video, very small. The average video is, and again, it's the GitHub link is on every single one of my videos over on my channel. You can just jump over there and get right to it. But we are right here with this. All these are micro videos, 3 to 4 minute videos. You can just go by, search any of them. I think today's video will be 780. So there are tons of things for you to be able to go and get caught up on. But just want to always take a minute to say thank you to everybody who spends their time here today. To Bo and Quincy, I really appreciate the opportunity. And to Jan and Cardinal, I appreciate you guys being admins and taking the time to help and keep us on task. So as always, guys, appreciate you watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell and the like button. Give this video a thumbs up, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye, guys.